Hi, friends, and welcome to another episode of Parenting Teens Advice Redefined for today's complex world. I am your host, Cheryl Pinkers, and I am here to explore the messy, beautiful, and sometimes very frustrating world of parenting teens. I am a transformational coach, a consultant for parents who have kids with neurodivergent teenagers, and I am also, and probably most importantly, the mom who has walked down this road and stumbled on it and kind of got up, dusted myself off, and kept going. But I'm here to help you maybe miss out on some of those potholes along the way. Today, we are tackling the hot topic: why doesn't my teen do chores? And more broadly, why doesn't my kid do what I think is so obvious? There's a dish in the sink, put it in the friggin' dishwasher. There's a sock on the floor, pick it up, put it in the hamper. Why don't they do things that are so obvious to us as moms? And I say this as a hot topic because I am on so many groups in social media, private groups for parenting teenagers, and this is on the daily of a conversation, a complaint, a frustration. And I get it. Listen, I have walked this path. So I know exactly what you're saying, and it's a conversation that's happened in my house many times. But in today's episode, I'm going to be answering questions you probably ask yourself on the daily, like why do teens act like cleaning a room or putting the dishes away is optional? Why do they ask us for rides and for money and for help, but they act like we owe them these things? And most importantly, how can I shift this dynamic without completely losing my sanity? So by the end of this episode, you're going to walk away with a new perspective, one that's less about frustration, more about clarification, communication, and collaboration. And keeping in mind that all of these skills are ones we want our kids to learn anyway, because we're not raising kids anymore, we're raising humans. So let's start by painting the picture that might feel very familiar to you. Your teen's room looks like a tornado blew through it. Dishes are stacked up in their room like they're trying to open their own buffet. And despite all of this, they have the audacity to ask you for a ride to the mall or money for their concert. That sound familiar? What do? Probably what most of us have done and would do. You snap. You launch into the laundry list. I drive you everywhere. I cook, I clean, I do your laundry. And this is how you repay me? And maybe, just maybe, your teen hits you with the ultimate gut punch. I didn't ask you to do all that. Now, if you're anything like me, that's when you truly lose it. The nerve. But let's pause just for a minute and ask ourselves, are they actually wrong? Here's the shift. Most of us haven't clearly defined our expectations. We assume our teens understand the unspoken rules of the house because we understand them. Cleaning up, doing chores, and being respectful feels obvious to us because we have internalized these as adults. But our teens, they're still learning. And without clarity, it's like playing a game with no rule book. Also, they can't and very likely don't want to read your mind. They don't know you've had a terrible day. They don't know you're exhausted. They don't know the bills are piling up. And they don't know that you didn't sleep well last night. And what if I told you there's a better way, and one that doesn't involve yelling, nagging, or feeling like you're on this emotional roller coaster? So here's the strategy. Here's where we flip the script. Set your expectations way before. Instead of waiting until you're fed up to address the mess, set your very clear, concise expectations ahead of time. For example, Sunday night at dinner, you are going to create, as a family, the layout of the week. Create the checklist of what needs to get done: dishes, laundry, tidying up, whatever's important in your home. Keep the conversation simple. Here's the plan for the week. Don't start nagging ahead of time. And remember, this is a fresh start. So you're not bringing back the history of last week. This is a fresh start. You're going to keep it very simple. Here's the plan. Let's take a look at the list together. Is there anything here that you can't do? And let's talk about that. Listen, collaboration is key. And when your teens feel like they have a say in the process, they are more than likely to follow through because it's not just being told. Now you're going to link those responsibilities to the privileges. This is not about punishment. Punishment and discipline that's another episode. It's about a natural consequence. If you want to ride to the mall, great. But first, make sure the list is complete. Check the list that's on the fridge. You're going to keep it visible so you're not completely rhyming off everything you agreed to on Sunday. It's on the list. It's on the fridge. Go check it. Just check it. And when the inevitable happens, when something isn't done, don't engage in the ping pong argument. Instead, simply say, check the list. No drama, no negotiation. The list will speak for itself. Acknowledge their needs too. This is a two-way street. So you ask your teen, what's on your schedule this week? What do you need from me? Whether it's a ride, extra cash, help with a project. Show them you're willing to meet their needs. Fosters a mutual respect. You care about their schedule and what they need as much as you want them to care about yours. If it's a one-way street, it's not collaborative. And what are we teaching them? Now we're going to stay consistent. The first week or two is not going to be easy. It's not going to go exactly as planned that we're talking about. There will be pushback, but consistency is your superpower. Keep pointing to the list and the agreements you've made, and over time, this will become the new normal. Here's what I want you to take from this. Teens are not lazy, they're not entitled, and they're not defiant by nature. They're navigating a complicated phase of life where independence and responsibility are constantly butting heads. And as parents, our job isn't to clean up after them or to micromanage every move. It's to guide them with clarity, consistency, and a whole lot of patience. So the next time you're about to explode over those dirty dishes or the unmade bed, pause, take a deep breath. And instead of launching into the laundry list, just say, check the list. Thank you for joining me here on Parenting Teens Advice Redefined. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend who might need to hear it. You can even share it with your teen and see what they think. As always, I really want to hear your thoughts, what works for you, and shifting the chore wars with your teen. Drop me a message or connect with me on the social media handle, Cheryl A. Pinkers, at Instagram or Facebook. Until next time, it's not about being perfect. It's about being present. You've got this. Thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you spend any time with me. I know you probably have 8 million things to do. So I'm so grateful that I'm on that list of 8 million because, sometimes parenting can feel like you're just failing when things go off the rails. But if you're still trying, you're not failing. So if you're listening to these podcasts, if you're Googling answers for something, if you have all the books, listen, then you're not failing. You're still trying. And that's awesome. I celebrate you. Until next time, thank you.